This time I call Miss Ratliff as my first witness. Miss Ratliff, would you... sorry.
Go right ahead.
Thank you, Judge. I couldn't hear you very well, but I think I heard you say go on.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to ask her to go ahead and state her full name for the record, but you were getting ready to do the same thing, so.
Yes, Your Honor, I was. Would you please state your full name for the record?
Mary Kristen Ratliff.
Thank you. And what is the name of your youngest child that you have with Marty Tabor?
Whitney Tabor.
And how old is she?
She's 16.
And is she currently living with you?
Yes.
Do you have any safety concerns regarding placing your address in the court order?
Yes, I do.
And what are those safety concerns?
History of domestic violence.
And when was the last incident of domestic violence?
It would have been when we were still married back in 2011, but he has made numerous verbal threats since then, since our divorce was final.
When was the last one of those threats?
Probably about a year ago.
Do you have any other reason that you don't want your address in the court order?
No.
How is the child covered for health insurance?
She is covered with full coverage medical through my husband's job, and it's Aetna insurance.
Do you know how much it costs to have the child on that plan?
Yes, it is about...
All right, guys, buckle up because this courtroom just turned into a storm of truth and tension. The mother, Mary Ratliff, takes the stand first, her voice steady but her eyes carrying years of fear. She speaks of her daughter Whitney, 16, living with her and of the violence that marked her past. The judge's tone is sharp yet fair, probing every answer. When Mary reveals she's still haunted by threats from her ex, you can feel the air tighten. This isn't just testimony, it's survival.
$38.08 every 2 weeks, and I believe that includes dental and vision.
How much does it cost to pay for the plan for the whole family every 2 weeks? Just the health insurance plan.
Okay, just the health. Let me pull that up again for you. For the family, for medical is $180.69, and that's every 2 weeks.
And how much is the dental every 2 weeks?
The dental for the family plan is $7.54.
And how many people are covered on that family plan?
5.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am. I'll be back in just a moment. And go ahead and call our next witness, please.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, I call Mr. Tabor as my second witness.
All right. Mr. Tabor, state your full name for the record, sir.
Marty Tabor II.
Questions shift to finances. Mary lays out every number like evidence insurance, family coverage, costs all precise. The courtroom feels clinical, but beneath the math is pain, a mother calculating not just dollars, but safety. Then the attorney ends calmly. Thank you, ma'am, but we know it's not over. The judge nods, eyes cutting to the next name. The silence before the next witness is electric. Everyone in that courtroom can sense that something big is about to unfold.
All right, thank you. You may proceed with the witness.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Tabor, do you have any other minor children other than the 2 that you have with Miss Ratliff?
My wife has a daughter that's 13 and fixing to be 13, and she don't live with us, but yes.
Have you adopted? Have you adopted that child?
No, ma'am.
And is that your biological child?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any safety concerns regarding placing your address in the court order?
Yes, I do.
And what are those safety concerns?
Like I was telling you about the phone call I got from my daughter and somebody demanding money from me and threatening to kill her. And so, yes, I would recommend. And they mentioned that they knew where I was, and I'd really like my address not to be anywhere near, I suppose.
When did that phone call occur?
It was maybe 5 months ago.
Do you have private insurance available through any source for the children?
No, man.
Where do you work?
Radon.
And how long have you worked there?
I've been back for about a year and 2 or 3 months.
And how much do you make there?
Enter Marty Tabor, the father. The tension doubles the second he speaks. His tone is defensive but heavy with frustration. When he admits to receiving threats himself, the story flips. Someone called, demanded money, and threatened to kill my daughter, he says. The room freezes. The judge's pen stops moving. For the first time, both parents are talking fear, not anger. The judge keeps control, but it's clear, behind this child support case lies years of fear, mistrust, and scars that never fully healed.
I make $30 per hour. I just got a raise back in the end of June or July.
And how much were you making before you got that raise?
26.
And how many hours do you normally work a week?
50.
Do you receive any bonuses or any other sources of income?
I've had 2 bonuses since I've been there, added up to $200.
And the 50 hours a week that you work, is that consistently 50 hours a week, or do you ever get more or fewer hours?
Like from time to time, we get more during the dry season, but during the rainy season, we miss a week, sometimes a month during the season, and also we miss about, I would say on average, about a week during the winter, because of the freezing weather, and then we lose a week during the holidays. They shut it down. Sometimes 2 weeks. I think last year it was 2 weeks during Christmas and Thanksgiving.
When you get more hours during the summer, about how many more hours do you normally get?
Normally about 2 more hours a day, I would say.
And the time that you get off around the holidays, is that paid or unpaid?
Only this last time I didn't, because I hadn't been there a full year, the last holidays. But now that I've been there a full year, I will only get paid on that specific day, on Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day.
Marty's income becomes the next battlefield. $30 an hour, he says proudly, though his voice wavers. He explains his job at Radon, the hours, the weather shutdowns, every detail painting the picture of a man grinding to stay afloat. But the numbers tell another story: steady pay, overtime, bonuses. The judge listens closely, and you can almost hear the gears turning. The courtroom isn't just about emotion now, it's about proof, precision, and who's really pulling their weight for this child.
Ask the witness, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Tabor, when you were served with a copy of the paperwork, part of that had a request for a production of your pay stubs and your bank records. Did you produce those for the state, sir?
I did not see where I needed to provide that. From the letter that I have here, it did not ask me to do that, but I did bring my W-2, both of my W-2s from last year.
All right. Well, I'm more interested in the year-to-date pay stub. When's the last time you had when's the last time you got paid, sir?
Last Thursday before last.
All right. Then you have a copy of that pay stub, sir?
Did not bring that with me. I'm at my mother's house. I thought we were actually going to do this in person. So I came to Brownwood. I live in Abilene. We were going to drive this morning.
Oh, okay. Now we're Zoom now, sir. Yeah, obviously. All right, but you can get a copy of that to the state, correct?
I can do what now?
You can get a copy of that to the state via email, correct?
Of course, yes, sir.
All right, then. Thank you. All right. Any other questions of this witness, then, Ms. Haley?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything? Well, I know better, but I got to ask. Any other witnesses you wish to call at this time?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And you need to redress anything to Ms. Ratliff?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I'm going to let the state make their closing statement at this time, folks. That way you can see exactly what the state's asking for. Then I'll go ahead and allow y'all both to make a closing statement or closing argument if you wish, because technically you represent yourselves. So I'll go ahead and let Ms. Haley go ahead and start. Thank you.
Well,
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. At this time,
Then comes the paperwork issue. Marty didn't bring his latest pay stubs. The judge's patience runs thin. You can send it to the state, correct? He asks firmly. Marty tries to explain, but excuses don't land well here. This judge doesn't play. You can sense the authority in his tone. This court demands order, not stories. The witness steps back, silence settling like a warning. Everyone knows what's next, closing arguments. And that's where things explode.
state asks for appropriate orders regarding non-disclosure. State is asking for a modification of support. State is asking that that modification go back to the date of service. So that would begin February 1st, 2025. Based on the testimony provided, that amount of child support is, or the guideline amount is $1,040 a month. That's at 50 hours at $30 an hour. State's also asking for a medical support amount of $78 and a dental insurance support amount of $3, and that Ms. Ratliff continue to carry the child on the government health plan. Those medical and dental support amounts are only for the one child. Because the state is requesting support starting on February 1st, but there is a current, on the state's financial report, the current support for the oldest child is currently paid off. State is not requesting a judgment at this time. And state is asking for appropriate orders regarding court costs.
Did the state, I think I think he testified earlier that his that raise came recently, so there will be some months he was getting 26 an hour instead of 30. Did the state do the caps on that?
Your Honor, state has not requested a retroactive judgment in this case. State would request that if the court wants to take that into account, that what we could do is we could start current support instead of going all the way back to February. We could start that current support beginning August 1st, because otherwise we would have to create a judgment.
Right.
And then we would also have to go back and take that into consideration with the amount that's already been paid for the adult child.
Okay.
So that's what state would recommend is the easiest way to move forward and ensure that 28 an hour is, or the 30 an hour is appropriate. State did calculate that the 26 an hour, 50 hours a week.
The state steps up first, calm, calculated, ruthless. The prosecutor lays out numbers like a hammer: $1,040 per month, $78 medical support, $3 dental, cold, final, precise. Then she adds the twist: retroactive payments going back to February. The judge raises an eyebrow, thinking it through. The back and forth is pure strategy. The math, the timelines, the logic, this is courtroom chess. Finally, the judge calls it. We'll start August 1 ST. It's decisive. It's firm. And it's fair.
It's actually $920 and current support is $1,040.
Okay.
So
All
the
right,
amounts difference would be probably about, that'd be 5 months, 6 months. So about $600, a little bit more as a difference if we did start February 1st. Thank you, Judge. Sorry.
All right, no problem. And again, I was just trying to get the math right, and I'm real hesitant to always go back that far on retro. I like going back so maybe up to 6 months, but yeah, that's way out there. So anyway, I would prefer to just go ahead and just keep it simple and start that first day of August on that one, so we can do that. But this time, I'm gonna go ahead and let the parties make their individual closing statements and closing arguments, and I'm gonna start with Ms. Ratliff. And I'm looking at going, and I need to know, as Mr. Ratliff, is Mr. DeBoer and the younger child seeing each other on a regular basis or anything like that?
No, they are not.
Okay, then. And I'll confirm that with him. But this time, if that's going to be the case, now I'll go ahead and just grant non-disclosure for both parties, okay? And that way there won't be a major problem. But this time, Ms. Ratliff, anything you'd like to tell the court closing? I'm looking at going and granting non-disclosure as to both of you guys, and then going ahead and making a final ruling on the child support modification and the update on the health insurance cash reimbursement, and dental.
Now it's the parents' turn. Mary simply thanks the court, calm, relieved, ready to move on. But Marty, his words cut deep. As soon as she's 18, I'm done with her. The courtroom falls silent. Even the judge pauses. That moment, raw, cold, and heartbreaking, reveals everything. This isn't just about child support. It's about resentment that's been festering for years. The judge reminds him, it's 18 and high school graduation, sir. The law doesn't bend for bitterness.
Reimbursement. We can't do vision under Texas law yet. So anything else you'd like to make in the closing, ma'am?
I can't think of anything. I just want to thank you all for your time. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Tabar, you heard what the state's asking. Is there anything you're asking me to do different, sir?
I don't guess there's nothing in this court that we can do, I guess. I'm just concerned about my daughter not living with her all these years. Over the last 10 years, I know she hasn't lived with her maybe 3. And I just, I'm concerned about her well-being, because I know that she had a man living with her that was 21 years old, and this was over a year ago.
Sir, here's the deal, sir. Again, this is a closing statement based on what the court has heard today. And right now, only thing before the court right now is child support.
Okay, I guess I have nothing then. I'll just pay what I owe you.
All right then, sir. Again, you have the right to make a statement as far as the child support issues that are before the court today, but that's all the state's pled for, and that's all I can take a look at. Is there anything else you want to say about that, sir?
Get what you can get, because as soon as she's 18, I'm done with her.
Well, here's the deal, sir. Also remember, it's 18 and graduation from high school. So if she doesn't graduate from high school until after her 18th birthday, you still have to pay child support. So please keep that in mind, sir. That's state law. So I'm going to go ahead and grant the request of the state. I'm going to go ahead and grant the modification of child support. I'm going to start that the first day of August of this year. I'm going to go ahead and grant the amounts requested by the state for that, cash medical and the dental, and make a finding that 0 arrears are owed at this time as far as the older child is concerned, of both the children together based on the prior order. Is there anything else you need on this one, Ms. Haley?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right,
Actually, yes, Your Honor. I'm so sorry. I just noticed. Could I get a ruling on court costs, please?
I'll wait for a cost. He was up to date. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Court costs are waived. Anyway, sir, I'm going to go ahead and let the state prepare that order. The state will send that to you electronically. If you get a chance to review and sign off on it, that's left up to you. It's not mandatory to sign off on it, but you do have the opportunity to do so. Signing off on it doesn't mean that you agree to the order. It just means that this is what the court's ordered, and it'll be eventually sent to me, and I'm going to sign off on it. Good luck to both of you folks, and may the parties be excused, Ms. Haley?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, then we're off the record, and both of y'all are free to go. Thank you. Good luck, folks. Be safe out there.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Haley, if you'll...
Finally, the gavel drops. The judge grants modification of support, medical, and dental. Case closed. No arrears, no retroactive chaos, just clear orders. Both parents are dismissed, the tension draining from the room. The judge's last words echo like a command and a warning. Good luck, folks. Be safe out there. All right, guys, that's justice firm, measured, and unshakable. This wasn't a shouting match. It was truth versus pride, and today, the law won.